Did you hear a thought? He hears it before she even smiles. I hate him. The thought slices through the cafe like a siren, and everyone hears it. Because thoughts are now audible. This isn't mind reading, it's public broadcasting. Every intrusive thought, every secret judgment, every lie you didn't say out loud. And it all started because one man made one wish. And the worst part, the first person he destroys is himself. Last night, he was just exhausted. A full day of fake smiles. Sure, that meant no. Polite laughter that meant, leave me alone. He's at his kitchen table, alone, staring at a cold mug. Then, the magical ring rolls out of shadows and taps the wood beside his hand. He just whispers. I wish humans could hear each other's thoughts. The ring glows once and disappears, and somewhere across town, a woman's thought slips out loud for the first time. Because the wish didn't change people, it removed the filter. The next morning, it starts like a glitch. A woman in an elevator says, "Good morning." Her thoughts add, "Don't talk to me." Everyone hears it. Everyone takes one tiny step away. A cashier says, "Have a nice day." Her mind says, "Please don't pay in coins." People suddenly remember they have cards. It's chaos, but it's meme chaos. People laugh because the world is finally saying what it always meant. At a coffee shop, a guy orders a latte, smiling at the barista. Out loud, "Thanks, you're awesome." In his head, "She's cute. Should I ask for her number?" Then a second thought, "Wait, my girlfriend would kill me." Then a third, "Why did I think that?" And the barista hears all three. So does the girlfriend standing behind him. And then a kid says something that makes everyone stop laughing. A little girl in a grocery store looks up at her mom and says, "Mommy, why don't you like Daddy?" The mom's mouth opens, but her thoughts answer first. "Because he's easier to live with than leave." The aisle goes silent. The dad hears it. And suddenly, everyone realizes this isn't honesty, it's exposure. And if thoughts are public, then lying isn't the first thing that dies. Kindness is. Within hours, relationships start detonating mid-sentence. A couple says, "We should hang out sometime." Their thoughts add, "We won't." A boss says, "We're a family here." His mind says, "I'd replace you all tomorrow." A friend texts, "Sorry, I didn't see your message." Their thoughts scream, "I saw it, I just didn't want to reply." Every conversation now has two voices, and the second voice is always louder. Then the world discovers the first benefit. Crime changes overnight. A man walks into a store and thinks, "Don't look at the cameras, grab it and go." The cashier, security guard, even the customers hears it. He doesn't even touch anything before someone tackles him. Interrogations become pointless. Confessions arrive before questions. Politicians step up to microphones, and voters hear the strategy behind the speech. They hear the real sentence behind every promise. This is what you want to hear. And then people realize something terrifying. Most of society is held together by tiny, constant filters. Even simple ones like, "I'm fine." "Yeah, sounds great." "I'm happy for you." Now, the filter is gone. For one day, it looks like the world is finally fixed. Then the wish shows its real face. By day 2, people are trying to escape their own minds. Headphones sell out in hours, not for music, for silence. Meditation apps crash from overload. Everyone is searching the same phrase. How do I stop thinking? People try thinking nothing, but panic is loud. Someone sits in a quiet park and thinks, "Don't think about quitting the job. Don't think about quitting the job." And of course, that becomes the only thought they can't stop broadcasting. Therapy wait lists explode. Because for the first time, humanity realizes something terrifying. The inside of the mind is not peaceful. It's messy, impulsive, full of drafts. And the worst part? You can't mute it. Not in public, not at work. And then it hits the one place you can't perform. Home. At first, he tries to enjoy the honesty. He thinks maybe this is what he wanted. Then his girlfriend sits across from him at dinner. She smiles like normal, but he hears everything underneath. His passing doubts, his comparisons to his ex, his fleeting thoughts he never meant. And the cruelest part? He hears her thoughts too. So this is what he really is. She doesn't yell. She doesn't explode. She just stands up, calmly, and leaves. He calls his best friend for support. His friend answers like usual. "Hey man, what's up?" But the thought underneath is crystal clear. Not this dumb story again. He visits his parents. They hug him. They say they're proud, but their minds broadcast disappointment like radio static. And his mind fires back judgments he never knew he carried. Family dinner becomes a silent war where no one can retreat. At work, it gets worse. Co-workers smile and nod, but he hears the thought under every compliment. He always takes credit. He's not that good. Why is he still here? Then he hears his boss think one sentence that changes everything. I should replace him. The thought becomes action. He's fired the next day. And that's when he makes the mistake everyone does. He goes outside. On the subway, he hears 40 opinions about his appearance in one ride. He looks tired. That shirt doesn't fit. Is he homeless? Why is he staring like that? He isn't staring, he's bracing. At a grocery store, he hears strangers judging his cart. At a crosswalk, he hears someone think something hateful about someone's skin. Someone else thinks something cruel about someone's body. Someone else thinks something violent and laughs. Then he hears his own thoughts, biases he didn't know he carried, judgments he never meant to make. And the moment those thoughts broadcast, he watches people flinch like he slapped them. He tries to apologize, but it's too late. Because in this world, you don't just think something anymore. You announce it. And then the world discovers the most dangerous thing about thoughts. They can be stolen. Secrets stop being safe. A tech conference becomes a crime scene. A developer thinks about a new product idea, and competitors hear it. A lawyer thinks about a strategy, and the other side hears it. A couple tries to plan a surprise party, and the person hears it before the invitation is sent. Marketing collapses overnight because you can hear the manipulation before the pitch. A salesman says, "This is the best car on the lot," and thinks, "This thing is junk, but I need commission." Customers just walk out. And then paranoia begins. Thoughts create reactions. Reactions create worse thoughts. The whole world becomes a loop. By week 2, society doesn't feel honest. It feels hunted. Cities try to adapt. People build quiet zones, cafes with signs that say, "No talking, no thinking out loud." It doesn't work. Schools turn chaotic. Teachers can't teach when they hear, "This is boring. I hate you. I'm going to drop out." Hospitals become unbearable. Doctors can't focus when they hear their own anxiety. Patients can't heal when they hear everyone's fear. People stop dating, not because love disappears, but because the first thought kills the first moment. A compliment arrives with a comparison. A kiss arrives with doubt. And the world gets quieter, not peaceful quiet, empty quiet. Because people stop engaging. They stop asking questions because they already hear the answers. They stop making jokes because the thought behind the joke is complicated. They stop taking risks because ugly thoughts now have witnesses. And that's when he finally understands what he actually stole. Thoughts aren't plans. They aren't promises. They aren't identity. They're drafts, messy, incomplete, sometimes cruel, sometimes random. Intrusive thoughts are part of being human. The brain throws sparks. Not all sparks are truth. Humans were never meant to share thoughts raw. Privacy wasn't about hiding lies. It was about processing truth, about having a space between impulse and intention, between feeling something and choosing something, between thinking something and becoming it. And in that space, that invisible pause, that's where kindness lives. That's where mercy lives. That's where "I shouldn't say that" protects someone you love. He didn't give the world honesty. He removed the buffer, and now there's only one question left. Can he undo it? He searches for the ring. He tears apart drawers, checks pockets, revisits the kitchen table like the ring might roll back out of guilt. Nothing. He goes online. But even online isn't safe anymore, because the problem isn't typed. It's everywhere. The world can't go back to before, because everyone has already heard too much. And then he realizes the darkest truth. Silence was the real luxury, and now the world is honest and completely unbearable. If everyone heard what you really think every moment, would the world feel more honest? Or collapse under the weight of knowing too much? Would you wish for it? Somewhere else, the magical ring rolls across a cluttered bedroom floor. A teenage kid is sprawled on his bed, scrolling his phone, half-eaten snacks everywhere. He looks out the window at the boring sky and sighs. I wish something interesting would happen for once. The ring nudges his hand. He smirks, like bananas raining from the sky, just for one day. The magical ring glows once. Outside, the clouds begin to shift. And then, thud,